Citizens input time, maximum of 60 minutes. Set on input of citizens on matters concerning city government, 3 minutes per individual. Please remember to state your name. We'll utilize the podium to my right, my left and your right. Anyone wishing to speak, please come forward.
Well, no one else is going to talk. I'm
The other
certainly willing
podium, ma'am.
to.
Your other right. Over
Here?
there. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I am here asking about the Budget Review Committee and why it hasn't been reconvened. Now, I know Mr. Gunther does not want it. He is against it. When the entire committee resigned in protest, when Tom Shadrack was thrown out, looks to me and virtually everyone I've ever talked to as a vindictive move on your part. It appears to me the mayor does not want the scrutiny of citizens looking at the budget and what you people are spending. You're spending outrageously. And as a taxpayer, I'm just appalled, absolutely appalled. Okay, one of the issues with the BRC, these have been in the Cape Coral Breeze. In addition to a special meeting may be called by a majority vote of the members of the BRC and must be approved by City Council. Why? Why? They should be able, it's their job to look at what's going on. If they find something, they have the right to bring it forward, and not as a whole. You want everybody in the BRC to be on the same plane, and if they don't, you don't even want to deal with them. And I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this. He's a gentleman who was on the council for many, many years, had an article written about him in the Cape Coral Breeze back in May. A George Starner, basically is saying, as far as I can tell, I have served on the committee longer than any prior existing member. One of the recommendations was to promote public-private partnership for Sunsplash, adding that he agreed. He also said, if the council decides to do away with the committee, it will be a slap in the face to the volunteers instead of a thank you for their service. Sit down and shut up. We don't need or want your input, Starner said. He said the prime consideration of council when selecting members should be their financial background, including education and previous experience in budgetary environment, which many of you all don't even have. When you were elected, it was because of your popularity, not your budget experience and expertise, Steiner said. I find it curious that 2 months after the former mayor candidate became chairman of the BRC, the current mayor is proposing to eliminate the BRC. Not only are you proposing to eliminate it, you have pretty much, they resigned en masse and you have done nothing to bring it back.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else wishing to speak during citizens input?
Pardon?
I asked if anybody else besides yourself was interested in speaking.
One more small.
Ma'am, your time is up. Please sit down. Please sit
None of you
down.
should be looking at your phones or your laptops when they're
Please sit
citizens.
down, ma'am. Ma'am, if you don't sit down, I'm going to ask you to leave. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak during citizens input? Seeing none, citizens input's now closed. Is there any council discussion on citizens input? Just to let you know, ma'am, last night's meeting, a majority of this council did sunset the Budget Review Board, so we'll be going in a different direction this next upcoming budget cycle. If you'd like, you could look back at the backup information from last night's meeting. You can see the direction that we're going in. Councilmember Steinke?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to make 2 notes. One is, I can only speak for myself. The reason why my tablet is open is I took notes on what you had to say, and I take notes on all citizens' input, and that's also where I have the agenda for our meeting. So I'm not playing games or reading emails. It's all about the meeting. And the second is that also at last night's meeting, we adopted a revised meeting schedule, if you will, for all citizens, not just 7 people, to be able to meet with all of the department heads and all of the budgetary requests and how that budget came together, so that it wasn't just 7 people that got to hear from those directors and from the city manager and from our finance director, but that all citizens would have the opportunity to come and meet with those people, review the programs, look at the dollars that had been spent and what the progress was on those dollars that had been spent, and what the ask was for the upcoming budget, so that more than 7 people would have that relationship with the people that were managing those dollars. And so that it wasn't just a removal of citizens' involvement or input. It actually was an expansion of citizens' involvement. So hopefully you'll take part in that in our next budget cycle.
And how are they supposed to
Thank
do
you.
that?
This isn't a open-ended conversation. If you'd like to reach out to your council member, whomever that may be, I'm sure they could point you in the direction that would help you in that. Okay, we'll move on to item number 5, since I don't see any other council members' lights on.